what he's doing basically is interval training, just like track. It helps a track man attain speed. Now, whether that helps in boxing remains to be seen. Now, let's get up to the ring announcer. Chuck, call for all the pre-fight festivities. Chuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, I call your attention to center ring, where at this time I introduce the color guard from the Las Vegas Marine Corps here in Las Vegas. And now,
Of course, can the big man fight? There are the numbers that we've been looking at now, it seems, for a long time. Rocky Marciano, 49-0. Larry Holmes, 48-0. Tonight would equal that. Joe Louis, of course, 63-3. Muhammad Ali, who was on hand to watch this one. Larry Holmes, a former sparring partner of his, 56-5. There are some interesting notes about this. At 35 years old, Larry Holmes is the oldest heavyweight champion. As you looked at Hector Macho Camacho, he loves television, doesn't he? He loves the camera. At 35 years old, he's the oldest heavyweight to fight for the heavyweight title against a light heavyweight. And no heavyweight champion, incidentally, and this is interesting too, as you look at Robert Duvall, no heavyweight champion has won more than 3 title defenses after reaching the age of 35, and this is Larry Holmes' 4th title defense after the age of 35. So there has been something of a death watch, if you will, on Larry Holmes. Here comes the challenger now. Michael Spinks behind his entourage, heading for the ring. He's been very calm, Ray, and you've said on numerous occasions that's very important.
Well, at first, for the past 3 or 4 days, he seemed to be very, very tight, very tense. Today, very relaxed, and a look of confidence. But we'll see what's going to happen once he steps into these 4 squares.
He's always had great presence, I think, in the ring. The story about when he fought Dwight Braxton, he turned around and saw his brother Leon running around doing crazy things, and he said, "Leon, straighten out your hat."
And so he's looking all business right now. Incidentally, I'll ask both of you this question, actually. A word that keeps popping up and has for the last couple of days is heart. And it's popped up almost in a negative way for Michael Spinks. Does he have enough heart?
Oh, I don't see how you can question that, given the fact that he hasn't ever been knocked down. He's won all of his professional fights. He dominated his division. And in a fight like this, when one man is so much bigger than the other man, that may be the most important factor and nothing else counts. But what I would want to see personally is to see a great effort from Michael Spinks. And we'll find out about that.
Well, that doesn't need to be.
I think if he does win, given the nature of his diet and his training, he'll become the first yuppie heavyweight champion.
And he has a lot of heart. That question doesn't need to be answered because he's proven himself for so many years. Michael Spinks is all heart.
And so Michael Spinks comes into the ring. He bows. There are the numbers on Michael Spinks, 27-0, 19 knockouts. And he has just beaten everyone in the light heavyweight division. It's that simple. Now, he comes in, of course, some 20 pounds heavier than he's ever been in his life. Matter of fact, the first fight that Michael Spinks had back in 1977, he weighed 168. So he is up 32 pounds from that. So Spinks, of course, the challenger, always the first one into the ring. And he will try to break a sweat. Very calm, as we mentioned.
Now, we've told you that no light heavyweight champion has ever beaten a heavyweight champion, and that's true. But the fact of the matter is that 4 fighters who spent most of their careers as light heavyweights up until the time they won the title have won the heavyweight title. Tony James Braddock, Ezra Charles, Floyd Patterson. I think in the old days, this Michael Spinks, as big as he is, would have grown into a 200-pound heavyweight and fought as a heavyweight. Joe Louis, after all, when he fought Billy Conn, weighed 200 pounds.
We mentioned that Larry Holmes has come in at 221.5 pounds, and I think that's an interesting thing to point out. The fact that the last fight that he had that was really impressive, the fight against Jerry Cooney, he weighed 212.5. Now here comes Larry Holmes, heading for the ring now. He also is in a no-nonsense mood at 35 years old, as you can see. He is the oldest to defend a title, as we mentioned just a moment ago, against a light heavyweight. Everybody has just kind of been sitting around waiting for the man to lose, and he has been vulnerable, he has been knocked down, he has been hurt, he has been close to losing, but he hasn't lost, and that's the bottom line.
And Barry, he always has something to prove. Because of the age factor, he gets in the ring and the critics say he's too old, he's shot, his legs are gone. And this fight here is a historic night, and Larry Holmes is a very serious man.
Well, by his own admission, he has more to lose practically than to win in this fight, because all that he's worked for and the reputation he has, he doesn't want to squander by becoming the first heavyweight champion to lose to a light heavyweight champion.
And he's a man who is always striving for his just due. Here he comes into the ring now. Now, of course, it is the comparison with Rocky Marciano. He's already gone through the comparison with Muhammad Ali. And the general consensus is, well, he's a great champion, but he's no Rocky Marciano. But in his defense, you have to point out the fact that the average age of Larry Holmes' opponents is 28 years old. The average age of Rocky Marciano's opponents was 34 years. Let's take a look at the numbers, the tail of the tape in this fight for the heavyweight championship between Larry Holmes and the undefeated light heavyweight champion, Michael Spinks. They are not.
Well, the real question here, obviously, is whether the age difference compensates for the weight difference. But there's one number that isn't on there. Larry Holmes has a 17.5-inch neck. Michael Spinks has a 15.5-inch neck, and that's the difference between a natural heavyweight and a natural light heavyweight. And here's our punch stat, our computer toy that gives us a kind of analysis of a fight, a cumulative analysis of the action of a fighter, how many punches he's throwing. And here is Holmes in some of his recent fights. Landed only 13 punches around against Williams in that last fight. And now you're going to see in the jab area that he landed only 7 jabs because Williams' jab was so good, and maybe that's a tip for Spinks to use his jab. And here is Michael Spinks, who has been more active as a light heavyweight, as you would expect, throwing around 60 punches around, landing an average of about 25. And there are his jabs. And he'll have to keep busy with the jab, Ray, I think, in order to fend off Holmes' jab.
Here are the rules then, the IBF rules, just slightly different than the WBC rules we saw in the last fight with Julio Cesar Chavez. 10-point must system, 3 judges score the fight, no change there, no standing 8 count. You can only be saved for the bell in the final round, and the ring doctor can't stop it. The only real changes are involving incidental butts. Right now, let's get up to Chuck Hall for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the International Boxing Federation at ringside, its president, Mr. Bobby Lee, and Commissioner Jimmy Rondo. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the next bout of the evening, the judges are Dave Moretti, Harold Letterman, and Larry Wallace. The timekeeper is Mike Morabito. Counting at the knockdowns is Mike Lucello. Your referee is Carlos Padilla. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing. Check that, 15 rounds of boxing for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the blue corner, the challenger, fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, weighing an even 200 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 27 wins, no defeats, 19 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Spinks. And in the red corner, from Easton, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 221 1/2 pounds. He too is undefeated in his professional career, 48 wins, no KOs, no losses, and 34 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
So there are the introduction to the fighters. Carlos Padilla will be the referee. A good shot from our up-top camera looking down on the festivities here.
Something to remember. Okay. A good little man can hurt a good big man. The problem is that when the good big man hits the good little man, he usually stays hurt.
I don't like the expression on Michael Spinks' face. It looks nonchalant. There's no fire like I normally see.
And remember what we said before, that Larry Holmes, I'm putting words in your mouth here, but Larry Holmes said to Sugar Ray Leonard, I'm just going to go get him right at the opening bell. Now, combining that with a nonchalant look on Michael Spinks' face could be serious trouble.
I'm sure Michael knows he's going right for him.
you were already given instructions in the respective dressing rooms. So avoid using any kinds of foul. Don't throw any punches during the break. Chief seconds, you will be responsible for any misbehavior of your assistant seconds. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, seconds come out fighting.
Good fight. Good fight, man. Let's go now.
I don't think you're going to see Larry Holmes catapult out of his corner the way Marvin Hagler did against Tommy Hearns. He'll just advance behind the jab, try to hurt him with the jab, and then take whatever opening is there.
So answers should come early. Round one, heavyweight championship. Both men undefeated. Holmes with a red stripe. Spinks with a black stripe.
Michael, he needs to get that jab off and gain some respect early. You can see the difference in both fighters, the weight differential. Larry Holmes appeared to be so much bigger, larger, especially around the midsection, the shoulders, and like Larry stated, the neck. Michael Spinks doesn't move that well laterally because of his knees. He normally wears a knee brace. So you won't see that much lateral movement. With Larry Holmes, he's throwing a jab and trying to measure him to throw the right hand.
Spinks snuck a right hand in. Holmes' jab has been in the face of Spinks early on. One factor that we should point out, and that is that Larry Holmes has cut recently. Dominantly over the left eye.
Michael Spinks has that good reach, good long arm, so he can get in. He can get those punches in.
Holmes is being very patient here in the first round.
I'm surprised that Larry did not back up what he said he would do a couple days ago. Run at Michael Spinks. I'm sure he is aware of the power that Mike possesses in that right hand. Well, in fact, both hands. Thus far, it's a pretty good fight by Michael Spinks because he's standing on the outside.
Feeling out process, and we didn't expect to see that. Thought the pace would be much more up in the first round. It is not.
Both guys are a little tight now, and for good, very good reasons. Because for either fighter, it's a history night, history-making night.
Spinks was short with that right hand.
Larry's jab is not really snapping. He has yet to find his target. There it is. There is the jab. And Larry Holmes wants to see more of that. He seems to be trying to set Michael up for the right hand. And you can tell he's about to set his man up as he paused with the jab. Larry has a tendency to pause that left jab and just drop that good right hand.
Nearing the end of the first round. No telling blows here in the first 3 minutes so far. End of the first round.
Well, Larry certainly didn't do what the big man is supposed to. Rich Cicchetti wants to see a double left jab of Larry Holmes. He wants Michael Spinks going backwards so that he will enable him to get on top of him. And with Spinks, they want him to throw more punches while he's moving. Stay busy. Larry's left jab is starting to go up and down, up and down. In fact, Mike cannot stand there and exchange punch for punch with Larry. His best bet is to work his own punches, fight his own fight.
Spinks staying in front of him. It's been a thinking man's fight so far. Holding on the back of the head, Carlos Padilla gives Larry Holmes the word.
Michael is trying to really jump in with his punches, which is really a mistake he could be making, because he could be countered by one of those right hands by Larry. Holmes
Holmes is kind of pawing Michael Spinks here.
You would eventually see a complaint from Michael Spinks because there's been a lot of claim that Larry thumbs his opponents.
And he did have an open glove just a minute ago.
But it's not intentional, Barry, just because his glove is open. Michael Spinks' corner has been yelling, make him work, make him use his legs. They had the theory that the old man should tire out if he should exert himself. There's Larry using his arms. Both fighters are really tentative as far as dropping, throwing the big punch, which is their right hand. I think good right hand by Michael Spinks.
Kind of aimed it, though. Spinks backs off a little bit. You can almost see both fighters just thinking here. Holmes has been the more active of the two. Spinks trying to pick his spots. That was short. That right hand was short by Spinks.
See, what gives Larry Holmes trouble from Michael is because Michael Spinks' style is so unorthodox. He can throw punches from anywhere. He has an uppercut, the left hook was powerful, and the Spinks jinx, which is the right hand.
Spinks actually got the better of that exchange. And they wrestle into the corner. Holmes is trying to lean on Michael Spinks into round two.
Peculiar heavyweight thoughts after a career as a light heavyweight.
And so far, very even fight. Wild right hand by Larry Holmes.
Well, Chiquete told him to throw the right hand, stop waiting.
He's telling him to double up on the jab and then come with the right hand. He's thinking counterpunch too much, said Richie.
Larry Holmes' right hand was looping, and I've never seen that from him.
He's been pretty wild with some of his punches, especially with the right hand. That one got in. Every now and then you will hear from Larry Holmes' corner the word everlast, and what that means is go downstairs, go to the body.
But Larry now is really using his strength. He's really trying to manhandle Michael.
And Michael's staying right in his face.
Well, Michael's he's darting in and out, which is good. Very good tactics.
Spinks agrees that he was holding Holmes a little bit, and he was. Good shot to the body by Larry Holmes.
Now that's when it's excuse me, but that's when it hurts a light heavyweight. When a heavyweight rips to the body, and especially if he packs a punch.
Spinks wanted to get inside a little bit more this round. There was the right hand. It did score. Good shot there.
Good body shot by Larry. Now this is when they feel the Dr. Shieldstone felt that the weight program, Shieldstone, will be a factor, help him out. But we've yet to see that.
Larry Holmes just tries to shuck him off his back.
Okay,
It looks like Larry actually is almost trying to get Michael into a street fight here, trying to get Michael's ire. That's the kind of fight Holmes seems to be fighting right at the moment.
Well, what Larry wants to do, he wants to try to tie. Good left hook.
Very good left hand by Michael Spinks.
And it made Larry Holmes' eyes open. I like what Michael's doing. He's using the ring. He's not being a stationary target.
Larry Holmes knows he's been in a fight here so far. And by no means has he got Michael Spinks figured out yet.
Those uppercuts, those little uppercuts, cute little uppercuts are working.
Spinks is pleading his case as Holmes was complaining to Carlos Padilla. Spinks says, I'm not doing anything. Combination by Spinks. Right hand lead. And Holmes just sort of paws Spinks off of him again. And the crowd reacts very negatively to Larry Holmes.
That was Michael Spinks' round. Good left jab that Spinks gets in, Holmes really doesn't know how to use his weight. He's never been a fighter to throw around his weight. He's been a boxer who likes to stand outside. Now we see an aggressive Larry Holmes.
This is the 4th round, and Spinks has taken Larry Holmes' fight. Left hand a little short, but the second one scored. There's a right hand. Spinks, the aggressor. Combinations by Michael Spinks.
He's not afraid, Barry. Oh, come on, fight.
Now Spinks complains that Holmes is elbowing him. And Padilla says, fight, fight. Well, Spinks has been doing more fighting than Larry Holmes.
Michael is actually making Larry work for this fight. Larry has yet to get that right hand through, and it's because Spinks has been using his left jab and neutralizing Larry Holmes' punches.
Larry's right hand has really been almost out of control. He's throwing it from all over the place.
What I'm looking for, Barry, is see the reaction once Larry lands with his right hand. Holding. With his big punch.
Spinks. Spinks has a hand loose and pounds on the champion. Holmes is really just trying to intimidate Spinks, and it's absolutely not working.
Look at Michael. Michael is so aggressive, and the tactics that used by both fighters is not really that clean, but the fact is, Michael is still aggressive. The right hand was thrown by Larry.
The right hand was short also. It did not hit Michael Spinks.
It was more of a grazing right hand. But I can't believe Michael.
Spinks is getting in there and mixing it up and is essentially saying, you can't hurt me, I've taken your best.
He's not showing any respect for Larry, but also, can he keep this up at this pace? Punching on a big man and having a big man punch on you. Larry punches have not been sharp at all.
2 right hands by Spinks.
This has been a frustrating fight for Larry. He can't seem to get any punches through.
And there's a good uppercut by Spinks. Holmes, the defensive fighter here.
Michael Spinks' jab is getting through.
There's a lot of grumbling going on in Larry Holmes' corner right now.
Larry's punches are not sharp at all.
That was a wild left hand by Michael Spinks.
Michael seems to be breathing hard now. And perhaps some confusion.
And I should point out, too, in Michael Spinks' corner, Ray and I were watching it while you were listening to Larry Holmes' corner, almost looked as though Michael might have been in some kind of pain. He was demanding that they sort of pull his trunks out so that he could breathe. Maybe he had a cramp or something, I don't know, but he almost looked in pain.
He was complaining about something that was probably bothering him. Michael went to his corner, and he appeared to be a little exhausted. What you have to keep in mind, he's punching on a bigger target, and a bigger target is punching on him.
That was Holmes with a good right hand that time, one of his best shots of the fight.
Larry Holmes needs to go to the body to slow some of that movement down of Michael. There, Michael leaped in, which is again bad because if Larry's able to count with the right hand, could put him in some trouble. Now this is what they want from Larry Holmes' corner, to back Michael up. Get him in the corner.
Good exchange that time. Holmes got the better of it, I think. Uppercut misses by about a foot.
Spinks is throwing those right hands to the body. A little swelling on the right eye of Larry Holmes.
Oh, a good combination, a left hand and a right behind it by Michael Spinks.
actually wear Michael down.
He had a good short right hand right there.
Started to land with that right hand. Started to find his mark with that left jab.
There is swelling actually under both eyes of Larry Holmes. There's a right hand again by Michael Spinks, and he takes a right hand from Larry Holmes.
A lot of times, Larry has the opportunity to really hit Mike with the right hand.
Good shot to the body by Holmes. Caught Spinks on the way in.
Larry's been, there's some of the uppercuts he's trying to get through.
Okay,
Just missed with that right hand, but I'll tell you, Holmes is starting to time Spinks' charges.
I thought Holmes won that round, although...
This is the 6th round, heavyweight championship. Both men undefeated, even contest so far. Spinks perhaps the best of it early. Holmes picking the tempo up here. I mentioned at the end of that last round, Ray, that it seems as though Larry Holmes is almost starting to time the charges of Michael Spinks.
Well, he starts now to counter as Michael comes in. But see, Michael is throwing his punches and bunches now, and it's giving Larry trouble. Okay, it's presenting a big problem for Larry. And also, Michael is a lot faster with his hands than the average heavyweight. Hold on.
He's talking about holding behind the head. Spinks is complaining about Holmes holding him. And as he did, Carlos Padilla gave Holmes another warning about that.
The way that Michael is darting in and out makes it difficult for Larry to find them sometimes. And now this could be quite frustrating when you beat Larry Holmes with the jab. Because Larry is the best heavyweight with the jab. Now it's a jabbing contest. And Spinks appears to be winning.
It's just a pesky kind of jab, just keeping Holmes off him. It's not really doing any damage at all. In fact, most of them aren't even scoring.
Now it's Larry Holmes' turn.
Richard Giacchetti wanted Holmes to uppercut, and Larry hasn't found that opportunity yet here in the 6th round.
I just want to see how much of a factor it becomes in the later rounds for Michael to be punching on a big man every round.
Holmes missed that right hand. And there's a good left by Michael Spinks.
Look at him. Don't hold him.
Spinks looks almost like an awkward fighter, but somehow he gets there.
He is very awkward, but he does, the way he positions himself, you don't think he gets punches off, but Spinks is able to deliver every type of punch. Larry Holmes.
There was a good left hand by Spinks.
Larry Holmes keeps raising straight up, and he's susceptible to kick a left hook.
Really a brawl right now.
That was a lot of energy spit by Michael. A great deal of energy. So the next round will be interesting.
Remember, we're not yet halfway through this fight. A lot of punches being thrown. Neither man has really been hurt. 3-punch combination by Spinks.
That was whether Larry Holmes is fresh enough to take advantage of it.
In fact, Richard Giacchetti stood up right in front of Holmes, pointed across the ring and said, look at him, he's breathing heavy.
Well, Mike went to his corner with his mouth open, and that's an indication of fatigue. Mike threw a lot of punches. He did a lot of things. He used his body a lot.
Spinks starts the round by backing up here a little bit.
You notice Michael's throwing punches that they're not in the book, but they're working, and that's what counts. And Michael is jumping on every opportunity he has. He gets a right hand through, and he stays on top of it.
Been an outstanding fight so far. Interesting fight. Crowd very supportive right now of Michael Spinks. This 7th round has not been a very good one historically for Larry Holmes. He has been in some trouble by Ernie Shavers, to name one. A wild right hand. Spinks right back on top of Holmes.
The punches are not really hurting Larry Holmes, but they're frustrating him.
That was a good right hand. A right hand lead by Michael Spinks.
Michael Spinks has been busy from round 1. There's the uppercut. He's throwing everything.
Throws a lot of his punches off balance, but somehow they find their mark.
Now this is when Larry says, okay, buddy, you threw your best shot, now I'm going for you.
Spinks' hands have come down a little bit. I don't know if that's by cause or by necessity.
Okay.
And Holmes just continues to wrestle him, keeping the elbow right in his throat.
Larry appears to me just to be trying to make Spinks use all his energy and then take advantage of him. He's making them use the ring.
Spinks is giving Larry Holmes a different look almost every time that they get back into the center of the ring. Sometimes he's outside, sometimes he's inside, sometimes going one way, sometimes
Michael
he's going another.
Spinks is beating Larry Holmes aside, and Michael said, I'm doing the best I can. And I'll tell you, right now, the best is pretty good. It's just a question, again, if he can hold up for 15 rounds at this pace.
Every
and
round,
his weight.
every round, between rounds, it just seems like agony in Michael Spinks' corner. But then he comes out and gives you 3 minutes of guts.
Yeah, and he's trying to give he's throwing a lot of punches here.
This is only the 8th round. There's a long way to go.
Well, in Michael's program, with those 880s, those wind sprints, this is supposed to help him out. We have to see whether or not it's going to work. I don't think Michael is really that pleased with the punches he's landing on Larry, because he told Butch Lewis from the corner he's doing the best he can. So apparently he's starting to wear down.
Well, he's throwing a lot of off-balance punches, but they're getting there.
No, because Michael's now starting to retreat a little more now. And he's just trying to find some space. Larry Holmes' jab is starting to come through, and it's starting to take their toll on Michael.
But I think that Michael Spinks has earned Larry Holmes' respect here, and Larry's not going to get careless.
That jab is really bothering Spinks' nose. Spinks is showing a great deal of heart, a body shot. I was waiting for those to come, and they hurt.
It hurt. As a matter of fact, I think Spinks is hurt right at the moment, trying to get his breath.
The body shots is what's doing it. And Spinks now is trying to tie up Larry Holmes. It's the body shots that's going to do the damage. The hands are starting to drop of Michael. And Larry Holmes, I think he senses this.
Spinks actually reached down and touched his stomach after that body shot.
Look at his hands, at his side, at his waist. I don't know why Larry's not going back downstairs. Spinks is off balance.
Breathing through the mouth.
Look at him. That was somewhat of a low blow. Michael is wearing down, Barry. Those shots thrown by a heavyweight are really starting to do damage.
And Spinks bounces right back off the ropes with a combination of lunging punches. And again, well, he's really digging down, I'll tell you. End of the 8th. And it's going to to be real guts for Michael Spinks from this point. No question, he's a tired fighter. He's really going to have to suck it up. And as Richard Duquette put it, you got to start punching more. You got to throw more combinations. Duquette pointed out to Larry Holmes that he did have Michael Spinks hurt in the last round.
But whenever Michael Spinks throws combination flurry in his way, he's able to land and frustrate Larry. But in doing this, he's being hit and being backed up, and it's giving Larry Holmes momentum. I like the body shots. I think that's what's going to work for Larry Holmes. Michael now is off balance. We have not seen the right hand of Larry Holmes like we've seen in the past. And maybe it's because the movement, the head movement that Michael Spinks is giving him.
Michael Spinks on his bicycle here in this round.
I don't know why Larry don't throw a right hand, because when Spinks throws this jab, he actually throws himself off balance. You notice, you see, there it was again. Now we see the jab starting to be more consistent by Larry. And what should follow there is a couple of body shots. And they're yelling from from Holmes' corner, body shots.
Shot to the body.
Beautiful shot body to the body.
And a combination by Spinks. Holmes countered with a right.
Spinks is just scoring points. And now he's trying to get a little breather here.
Spinks actually did not appear to be quite as tired between the 8th and 9th rounds as he did between the 7th and 8th. And this has been a good round for him, at least in terms of just trying to get it together. It's been a fairly easy round, not a lot of punches thrown.
Mike is really using the ring, and I'm really impressed with the way he's been utilizing the ring with the use of his style.
That was another good body shot, and it actually buckled the legs of Michael Spinks.
That was the right hand to the body Barry I was talking about. The jab and rip that body shot.
Three right hands by Spinks. And another good body shot by Larry Holmes.
A good round for Holmes.
10th round, and I'm sure Michael Spinks is thinking, how many more? Larry stalks him.
Exactly. I was saying the same thing. Barry, he's stalking his opponent, and I'm sure he's going back downstairs. It's been working there thus far. We haven't seen the straight right hands of Larry Holmes. What's been landing has been a couple jabs and the body shots. For Michael Spinks, everything has worked. Uppercuts, left hooks, right hands.
Spinks hasn't actually been throwing a lot of punches the last 2 rounds, though. Now he picks up the pace.
A little frustration from Michael Spinks.
Has really incurred the wrath of Michael Spinks, not to mention Butch Lewis.
Well, Spinks is complaining about being elbowed. They're actually talking.
But you know, getting like that really expends a lot of energy also.
Oh, it does. Jab to the body. The hands of Michael Spinks are starting to drop. The right hand should come by Larry Holmes. Now they're back up. Okay, bring it up. Step up. Couple jabs to the body works too, Barry.
Chopping right by Spinks.
Spinks is better inside.
None of those punches really did any damage.
And now it's time for a breather by Michael. You know, after he throws a few combinations, he needs to take a breather. Hands are down once again, which is uncharacteristic of Michael Spinks. Larry should go to the body with that right hand again because it's available, it's there. And he's in position again.
Spinks just an awkward kind of target for Larry Holmes. Holmes hasn't really found him other than to the body on a couple of occasions.
Look, I never seen Michael do this. And normally Larry Holmes would throw a right hand.
Holmes just looks like he's measuring him, just sort of biding his time, just waiting for the opportunity, and it sure does look like the opportunity for a right hand is there at the bell.
We can catch the elbow that Holmes caught, that Spinks caught. And there you see Spinks complaining about that Larry Holmes has been known to use his elbows and his gloves and everything else on a fighter. Catch the elbow that Holmes caught, that Spinks caught. And there you see Spinks complaining about that Larry Holmes has been known to use his elbows and his gloves and everything else on a fighter. And it doesn't tell you anything about the impact of the punches. They put a little salve on the forehead, just above the left eye of Larry Holmes. You see a little cut there.
This is the 11th round. We're going 15. And it's looking more and more as though we really might go 15. And you wouldn't have found a lot of money here in Las Vegas that would have bet on that. You're right, Ray. I think there is a little cut above the eye of Larry Holmes, above the left eye.
Okay. Michael shouldn't be using all that energy yelling. And especially jumped up and down.
I'm not sure what he was yelling at that time, actually. It wasn't directed at Padilla. It might have been at Butch Lewis.
Whatever Michael's doing is working thus far. The jab, and I think although Michael is a light heavyweight, his reach is just as long as Larry.
Spinks picking up the pace a little bit here. A lot of swelling around that left eye and a little bit of a cut above the brow.
Larry needs to go to work now, Barry. It's getting late now. And Michael has been landing more punches. Larry just can't get set. Again, you know, so Spinks was able to throw a punch and in a totally awkward position.
And he's thrown a couple of them. He came with an uppercut that was awkward, and then came with an overhead right that was awkward.
But what amazes me, he's able to get him off.
It just seems like Spinks is fighting on raw emotion here. And one observation we made between rounds.
He dropped both hands to his side.
But every time he looks that way, he comes right back with a flurry.
I don't know why Larry's not taking advantage. I don't know why Larry's not going to the body. He's right there. And Michael's becoming frustrated for some reason. I think he's doing a great job. In his own way. Michael now is just trying to stay out of the way. Larry wants to throw that right hand,
but he's not doing it.
As long as he waits, Spinks jumps in.
So this is the 12th round. 4 rounds of boxing remaining here. And Michael Spinks has not only captured the crowd, I'm sorry, I was going to say, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see if he's captured the judges at this point.
It's the movement of Michael that's really bothering Larry. Because Larry's trying to get those shots to the body off, but because of the awkwardness of Spinks' style, it's really confused. It's confused Larry. And if Larry can keep up this same pace, he should be more effective.
Spinks just has an awkward appearance. Every now and then he looks like Gumby, and Holmes just doesn't jump on him.
Michael's quite limber, and he's able to move his body in ways that I could think of. The jab of Larry is not busy like it used to be. He's just following his man around. He should be cutting that baby off.
And Spinks goes downstairs, then comes up. Not a big punch, but they both got in there.
But the key to this is the fact he's scoring, Larry.
Spinks is just throwing caution to the wind and just almost falling into Larry Holmes.
Michael now reminds me of his brother Leon in certain instances. Aggressive and throws every kind of punch. Okay, bring it up. A couple arm punches thrown by Michael. So when you talk about does Michael Spinks have heart?
He's answered that question, no question about it.
Oh, look at this. Totally off balance and almost spun around. Larry needs to go to work.
And he's running out of rounds here. Just kind of blinked his eyes and said, I'm not quite sure how to interpret that, actually. Just blinked his eyes, threw his arms up as if to try to get something back that wasn't there. Maybe youth.
I gave that perhaps justly so.
A lot of concern. And they were telling the champion that in no uncertain terms.
Larry now is really going at Michael. Laying a good right hand on the forehead. But the key to it is keeping it up.
Get off! You gotta get
Some of
off!
the things that go on in the corner, of course, are perhaps not classified as family entertainment, but this is an unusual and a violent sport. And
I don't know why Larry's so tentative to throw the right hand.
There's that jab again by Holmes, a good jab. At this point said, I'm gonna go knock the man out, and Spinks, I'm sure, has that tucked neatly away in the back of his head and says, let me just do what I have to do and get out with a decision.
You notice that Spinks is moving around, but every time that Larry stops, Spinks retaliates.
He just seems to have the champion just confused enough that he can't get off in time.
Okay, bring it up.
Good overhead right that time by Spinks and a wild left hand.
Oh, Larry can't find the chin of Michael Spinks with his right hand. Okay, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Michael's still aggressive, and he's taking the fight to Larry.
He's definitely doing that, and Holmes just can't seem to retaliate. He's got an awkward fighter in front of him who throws punches from all angles, and Holmes just can't seem to find it.
Michael now is like somewhat of a southpaw. Okay. Michael is doing everything to win. Look it up.
And Spinks continues to be the aggressor in this fight. Larry Holmes just seems like a befuddled fighter. So the clock is ticking on Larry Holmes. He's got 6 minutes left. That's the way he started the last round, too, but then he settles in. There was a right hand. It was a good one.
Good right hand by Larry.
And a cover there. Good left hand. And Spinks says, come on. Holmes stalks him. That right hand was a little short. And there's the left. And Holmes is finally coming with the left behind that right. Holmes is talking to Spinks. I couldn't hear what he said.
Look at Michael. He's turned to a tiger. As long as Mike doesn't run into anything, he's fought a very good fight thus far. This reminds me a great deal of Joe Louis and Billy Conn. 13 rounds from man, he had him until he tried to knock him out.
Conn got careless, and you have the feeling Michael Spinks will not do the same.
Okay, look at him. Stop! With the man hands down that low, I'm surprised Larry's not landing any good shots.
Holmes is just missing here. He just missed with an uppercut a moment ago. And he had his man open.
Whenever Larry holds that right hand, Spinks comes through.
Fights right back.
He's beaten Larry at his, not his own game, but in his way, his own style.
And he's getting inside on Larry Holmes, too, which not too many fighters do at this stage of the fight.
Hands up! Hands up! Get out!
Holmes seems able to sustain things for about the first 30 seconds of a round. And then sort of goes to sleep.
Okay, bring it up.
All right!
You could ever want wrapped up into 3 minutes here. Cheers coming from this crowd in support of Michael Spinks. Pinklin Thomas is up, as a matter of fact, rooting for Michael Spinks.
Okay. Look at Michael jumping off the stool. Okay, this is it, especially for Larry Holmes.
3 minutes left, and you have the feeling Holmes is going to need all of them. Both men just fighting on courage here. There's a right hand by Spinks. And Spinks is just staying right in his face, and he's just not allowing Larry Holmes to take any control of this fight whatsoever. Crowd around us chanting, Larry, Larry, but it may be too little, too late.
Look at Michael, he's just so busy.
electric right now. It is Michael Spinks who is handing it to Larry Holmes, the champion. If you walked in here and didn't know which fighter was the champion and which was the challenger, you'd say the guy in the white trunks and a black stripe is the champion, and fighting like one, and may soon be.
Michael's using his experience.
Larry Holmes just does not seem to be able to do anything about it. The last 3 rounds, he started out the first 30 seconds like a tiger, and he's wound up like a lamb.
Larry tried to pull it out, but apparently it's not there.
There was a right hand by Larry Holmes and a good one. And Holmes is going to have to do it right now. He has no time to waste. Spinks on his bicycle just trying to stay away. Crowd on its feet in anticipation of what could be a new heavyweight champion. Another good right hand by Holmes, but Spinks is right there. Combinations of punches heading down toward 15 seconds remaining in this fight. Holmes will not do it. Looking for the one punch, and he is just about out of time. This one is over. Listen to the crowd. What a heavyweight championship fight we have just seen. And it looked in the middle of the fight as though Michael Spinks was running out of gas, Ray. He just never seemed to get any more tired. And every time he got up off that stool, it looked like a struggle. And he just sucked it up and went out there and did what he needed to do.
You know, every couple of rounds, Michael Spinks appeared that he was like really losing his energy, and fatigue had set in. Frustration was on his face a couple of times in the corner. But the way he executed his tactics, they were awkward, they were different, but they worked.
They say a challenger has to take the fight to the champion, and those numbers really may not quite tell the story, although Michael Spinks did throw 130 more punches. They each landed about the same amount of punches, but Michael Spinks did in fact take the fight to Larry Holmes.
Well, he did not show any respect whatsoever to Larry Holmes, to the champion. He used his jab. Michael Spinks worked a lot to the body. He was drilling a lot of right hands to the body and coming back up with those left hooks.
Awkward fighters have historically given Larry Holmes more problem than more traditional fighters. And it's not to say that Michael Spinks is awkward, but he gives you a lot of different looks. He's almost off balance in a lot of occasions.
I was surprised not to see a lot of right hands by Larry Holmes. He appeared to be quite tentative. I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't there tonight.
Well, remember, this one is still in the hands of the judges, and while the crowd and people at this table seem to think that we are looking at a new champion, once again, you have to point out that we have seen some very unusual decisions here in Las Vegas. Let's get the decision now from Chuck Hall. Chuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Dave Moretti scores 143-142. Judge Harold Letterman scores 143-142. And Judge Larry Wallace scores 145-142. For the winner, by unanimous decision, and new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Spinks.
Well, there you have it, and it was a decision, actually, that it was a lot closer than I thought it was, to tell you the truth.
It was a close fight the way the judges had it. But Michael Spinks fought the right fight, Barry. He did everything right the way he did it, in his own way. He beat the champion to the punch. He used his left jab. He kept the champion tentative a lot of times. Larry Holmes never really got the right hand off like he wanted to.
And so we have a new heavyweight champion just that quickly. And again, at the end of the fight especially, it was Michael Spinks who looked like he was the champion and Larry Holmes who looked like he was the challenger.
Well, even in the later rounds, I said, this is the time that Larry Holmes pull it all out. but apparently it was an old Larry Holmes. I didn't see the Larry Holmes with the snap jab and the powerful right hand. It just wasn't Larry Holmes.
Mayhem in the ring right now. Let's get up to Larry Merchant, who's amidst the celebration. Larry.
It was a major upset of major proportions. Archie Moore had said before the fight that Holmes fighting Spinks was going to be like a semi-truck going against the Volk.